Welcome to the Media Bubble Podcast. I'm Karol, and he's Fredrik, and let's get the show on the road.
Yay!
Hello, everyone. In today's episode, we were thinking about, not thinking about. We had Fredrik prepare some prompts for us, just so that we can get the conversation going.
Yeah, I guess we didn't have that big of a plan on this episode, but it's kind of is going to become let's say that we have 10 ordinary questions that it's video game themed, and I don't know, I guess we will just see what comes to our mind when we ask one of these questions.
Yeah, I don't think it's like super serious if we spend too much time like on one question.
Don't feel pressure to answer every question either.
Sorry, these video game questions are too personal for me.
No, it's just that sometimes even thought I wrote all these even I sometimes struggle with, what would I answer to that?
I mean, we're here to find out. So let's go.
So the first question is, the first game you played. And here's the thing with this question is, I don't really know that. I can give you some kind of vague answer to it, but I'm not exactly sure what the first game I played is. I was too young.
I'm thinking something, it's either Crazy Taxi, which I remember, or something from the PS1 era. And it might possibly been Roller Coaster Tycoon on PS1.
Yeah, I played Roller Coaster Tycoon pretty early on the computer, but for me it has the potential of three things that I remember, and these are just the things that I remember. I'm not even sure if there's something earlier, but when I was really little, we used to have my father used to own an old Sega Masters, or that was what it was called, right? Sega.
I think so, yeah.
And the games that I remember that was on it was like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and a Pocahontas game, weirdly enough. And Mickey's Magic Castle or something like that.
Oh, okay. So the Magic Castle, I think I even know what it is. It's like a platformer, right?
Yeah, Castle of Illusion when I think about it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna also go out on a limb and say maybe the Pocahontas game was also like a platformer.
Yeah. A lot of the games were platformers back in that time. We also had kind of an N64. I'm not exactly sure the details on that thing, because for the longest time I thought we owned a N64 and then sold it, but from what I have heard now, we may be just hired it for a month or two.
I mean, that was like one of the things you could do when many years back, right? Like I also distinctly remember I could go out and borrow or like loan a PS2 to play games on.
Yeah, I guess times have changed in just that aspect.
You know what? I kind of wish we still did that. I kind of wish I could go out and borrow a PS5 and play Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, that would be nice. Because because there's kind of just two games you want to play on that console.
Exactly. I mean, there is a Final Fantasy 16 event going on in 14 right now, and the developers basically said, like, he Deus Ex Machina the event so that, oh, you want to hear what's gonna happen in the rest of the story? Well, wouldn't you like to know? In the new DLC that's dropping for Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, well, so there's coming DLC to that game.
Yes, there is. There'll be 2 DLCs. There'll be like a trial one and one story one.
Oh, it just gives me flashback when you speak about Final Fantasy DLC. games I can remember that we had on the N64. I remember Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, and let's see, I think Mario Golf. I think that was kind of. These are at least the ones that I remember. So it might have been one of those that was the first game I played.
I mean, these are good choices. I mean, any choice is good. How young were you when you started playing video games?
Well, the thing is, I had two older brothers, so they also had some game libraries when I was really small. So I don't know. I might have started playing video games like around the age of 3.
But I say, because I think my story is similar, I also have a brother. So we were the lucky ones that didn't have to ask for the consoles, right?
Mm.
We already had them because of our brothers.
Yeah. The only thing that was a bit of a problem was sometimes you didn't get to go in your brother's room to play.
Oh, that wasn't a problem for me. I shared room with my brother until I was like 14 years old.
Oh. Well, that was a problem for me in that case. I also remember that we owned a Game Boy Color, but anyway, I guess we can think about some of the other questions.
Yeah. So, next question is the game you spend the most hours on.
So, what does come to mind first, Carol?
Oh god. I know I spent like 100 hours in Animal Crossing.
Mm?
How
How is it with Final Fantasy 14? For many years have you played that now?
So, for me, I played it. It's gonna sound bad because I've played it for 3 years now, maybe, I think. But the problem is, I don't play it. Like, I don't pick up the game and I play until like I finish it or I finish the main story. I usually play a game, I get to a point I'm kind of like, okay, here I can stop, and then I take like a long break.
Oh, okay.
So even
Well,
though I played,
I kind of do that sometimes too.
yeah, so even though I played for 3 years already, I'm only beginning Stormblood, which is the second expansion. That's bad because we have Dawn Trail coming out in 12 weeks, which is the one, two, three, four, fifth expansion.
Well, then you have something to look forward to at least.
I do. They introduced new classes. So there is Viper based on Final Fantasy VII, and there's also Pictomancer.
Hasn't 14 become like bigger than World of Warcraft now?
I wouldn't say bigger, but it's on the when.
Well, it has more player base. Yeah.
At one point, it definitely had. For a while, there was this big exodus. WoW players being disappointed with the Warlords of Draenor, I think, or War for whatever that was expansion. But the expansion sucked ass, so people changed their game to Final Fantasy, and it exploded in popularity. I think even now, right now, Xbox is rolling out Final Fantasy for their consoles. So even now, there's like a new influx of players. But yeah, there was this like whole debacle. They kind of like did a lot of rewrites in WoW. People started jumping ship. But now I think the latest expansion people like for WoW, so they're like on a competitor level. But I've talked a lot. What is the game you've spent the most hours on?
Did you give an answer? Animal Crossing.
I think either Animal Crossing, Final Fantasy 14, or I mean, I'm really invested in Stranger of Paradise right now, but I don't think it's nearing 100 hours yet.
No, I don't think a game like that probably. For me, it's I think it's Pokemon Soul of Silver.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I played that game for like the if I remember the last time I checked on my DS, because you can see the total time you have played. Like that game was like 350 hours or something like that.
Yeah. Gosh, I think I also even restarted that game once and finished it again.
So that I think that one or some other competitors is that when I was when I was little, I used to play Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 quite a lot. So that is one I could see it being, but I think it's Pokemon Soul of Silver. Like the weird thing we are always with Pokemon games is that uh, when I get them, it's so easy for me to play them in like the 2 first weeks. So the hours usually are pretty much bigger than any other games I played.
Was this also the case with? Because I know you have Scarlet and Violet, right?
Yeah,
Was this also the case for you with those new games?
yeah. Pretty much when a new Pokemon game comes out, I play it a lot in the beginning.
You go into a Pokemon-induced coma.
Yeah, kind of. And then when I'm out of that coma, I can really start to think about, what did I feel about that game?
I mean, you're still going at it with a better perspective since you finished the game. A lot of guys pick up the game, don't get at like 25% in, and that's how they form their opinion.
Like I remember when Sword and Shield dropped, I beat that game in like one week, and I came to the realization that I didn't really like that game, but I still beat it and put like more than 50 hours into it.
I think I got that feeling after Nessa's gym. But I also finally finished it, so I mean,
Congratulations.
thank you. I actually even got my niece to play Pokemon with me. Um, she really liked the cooking mini game. So these were the games we spent the most hours on. But I see you have another question for us.
Let's see. The game no one talks about but you loved. So a game that you really enjoyed but isn't really talked about.
I have an example, but I'm kind of curious to hear what your game would be.
Well, the thing is with this game is that I kind of felt like the first game that came into my mind was Epic Mickey, but then I kind of realized that now when it is getting kind of a re-release, people are talking about it, so I'm not exactly sure if that should count.
But when it comes to the original game, it like yeah until the re-release, the repainted, what's it called?
Rebrushed, I think.
Yeah, so until the rebrushed was mentioned, no one really talked about Epic Mickey.
Yeah, it had kind of become a forgotten game, which is kind of ironic because the story of that game is about forgotten things.
Quite ironic. So why do you love it? Why Epic Mickey?
Well, I guess it's a mixture between three different things. One, I kind of like Disney or old cartoons, and it had a kind of fun story about all the forgotten characters, and it's also a 3D platformer, which kind of is the genre I enjoy playing the most. So I guess it's kind of a combination. I don't know. It was fun. I felt like I don't feel like I feel like that I was the primary audience for a game like that.
Yeah, and sometimes it's okay if the game is just alright. If you're having fun, that's enough.
Well, I had really fun on that game. I like beat it 5 times.
Oh God, okay, then you really really liked it.
Hmm.
um, for me, so this is actually kind of an easy question. It's the first game that I ever bought with my own money, which is Fat Princess.
I
Uh,
remember us playing that game.
yeah, it's really fun. It's like a full-on. So, basically, Fat Princess, as the name implies, involves a princess, and it's basically capture the flag, but the flag is the princess, and you can feed the princess cake, so that she gets heavier. And when she's heavier, she's harder to lift, and you go slower with her. And the wonderful thing about Fat Princess is it involved large scaled battles with up to I think like 40 players. Um, so it really felt like war. You had 5 different classes which were upgradable. Each different class had a different kit. For example, warriors they had shields which could block arrows, but if you upgrade them, they had a lance which could dash. So there was a lot of like you could basically wave dash to your goal. There were a lot of tech. There were guilds. There were DLCs that included a lot more classes. The story was fun. The visuals were cute. I don't know. I just spent an ungodly amount of time in that one.
I do remember one thing with Fat Princess is that. The, do you remember that PlayStation All Star game?
Yes,
Fat Princess was a playable character.
yes, she was.
Like she felt a bit like the odd one out in that roster.
Well, I think she was like the equivalent of Princess Peach because they were really going for the not Kingdom Hearts, the Smash Bros. Comparison.
Did Fat Princess ever get a sequel or any other games?
So the thing is, after the release of the DLC, I think they released a port to Vita, which included another class, which was the King, and included new stages, which was like a Cloud Kingdom or sorts. Afterwards, I think Santa Monica Studios that made the game dissolved, but they released a game which is like more of a hack and slash on the PS4, and that one has awful reviews.
Hmm.
And that's it. That's the story of Fat Princess.
To the next one, I guess. Oh, let's see. The game that made you get into a new genre.
Oh God. Uh, that's a hard question.
Yeah. I guess Pokemon got me more into RPGs. Let's see. What for me, being a Nintendo owner quite for a long time, I remember that uh, when I kind of tried a more like mainstream game that's on like the PlayStation and Xbox and things like that, that was kind of like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
So it got you into the Assassin's Creed games, or did it get? Because I think
Well,
Nintendo
kind of the
already.
more action adventure type of games, I guess. Because what I usually kind of played was platformers and maybe a kart racer and some kind of sport game. So I guess it was kind of the action adventure type of.
I mean, at least it has like a quite a different vibe from like the Nintendo games of that time, right? The games released on Nintendo or by Nintendo had this whole like they're charming, but not they weren't exactly like realistic.
Well, they never really got that mainstream attention appeal, I guess.
Exactly. So I could see it as a new genre.
That's kind of the one that I thought of at least.
I think for me, I'm debating. I have two picks.
Mm.
So it's either, oh God, it's either Black Ops 2 or Destiny 2, which got me into FPS games.
Okay.
Because don't get me wrong, I played like Counter Strike a bit with my friends. I don't think I even said it like to anyone that I played Counter Strike. Um, I was not really good at it, and that's why it sucked. But I think if not for our friend that played Black Ops 2 excessively, I wouldn't have got into my head that it's fun. And with Destiny 2, I wouldn't have got into. Yeah, it's Destiny 2. Destiny 2 got me into MMOs. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense. And FPS games.
It's like you realize something about yourself just then and there.
Yes, I did. It's Destiny's fault.
I do also remember that Bayonetta 2 kind of got me into hack and slash games.
I mean, I still haven't played Bayonetta. I still haven't played Bayonetta. I've seen. I love her vibe. I love that she's mother, but I just never had like the game in my hands to pop it into my Switch. It's a shame.
Well, one day maybe. The game that made you most frustrated.
Easy. Knack.
Okay, why?
Because I played it on hard mode and I promised to myself that I would finish this on hard mode. Knack as a video game has 4 buttons. You can punch again, and you can roll. That's it, and you can jump. It has like he has no special attack. He has like power-ups, and you die in 2 hits, and the enemies don't damage each other. They just like ignore stage hazards. Just ignore all the bullshit that you have to deal with.
Oh, that seems fun.
I liked that I finished the game.
There are a lot of times I feel like you have raged, but let's say I'm trying to think of something specific. Well, one thing that I am kind of remembering is there used to be one thing in. This is going to sound a bit weird for this question, but in Mario Strikers Charge for the Wii, there was like one football cup where you played each team twice, and there was 5 teams in a like tournament. So you played a total of like 10 matches, and the top 4 went on to play a 3-against-3 semi-final and final. And if you lost in the semi-final or final, you had to restart the whole thing. But the thing is, when you beat the semi-final and final for that cup, you had to play against Diddy Kong for a set of 3 matches, and Diddy Kong was very much better than anything you played until that point before. And he had this weird stage where it took away like 2 players from your team, so you weren't even really sure what team you went into that match with. And Diddy Kong was really technical, and he could do a lot of stuff, and he beat me quite a lot. And the thing that made it frustrating when he beats you is that you had to do the whole cup again.
Oh god.
So you had to replay 10 games, do the semi-final and final again, only to be beaten by Diddy Kong again, and you realize that oh shit, I have to do everything again.
Yeah, that sounds really old school.
So that was kind of frustrating, actually.
Yeah, this is it. I am each day I am surprised by your grit, because after 10 matches and Diddy Kong at the end, I think I would drop the game in your place.
If I'm being honest, I don't think that Diddy Kong was unlocked. But I remember me trying a couple of times, and it just got to a point where, well, this is not really that funny anymore. You spent all this time beating these other teams just to get to Diddy Kong again, where he beats you.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to go through that. So, what was the first game you 100%ed?
I do actually know what this is, and that's well. When I was younger, I usually let's be honest. It wasn't really that often that you 100%ed a game.
True.
Maybe you beat it, but 100% not that common. But I do remember one game that I actually did that with, and I'm not even sure if I don't think that you have heard of this game, but it was a game I owned for the computer, which was called Donald Duck Going Quackers. And it was a platform game starring Donald Duck. And I think it had like 20 level in totals. It had like 4 costume to unlock, some time trials. It was really easy to actually get everything in that game, so I didn't just 100% it once. I 100% it multiple of times.
Well, I mean, I as you said, I don't think I've ever heard about this game. Let me look it up. Donald
Duck Going Quackers.
Oh yeah, okay.
I
see it now.
Yeah, I have heard that it is a bit different. The computer version is a bit different from the console versions.
Is it in which way? Is it like easier, harder, or?
Well, I have heard that the computer version is probably better. Like the levels are a bit different.
There's also like an advanced version. Oh, that unlocked a memory. Okay.
What have you seen the game before?
No, but because I see that some of the versions, there's one on the GameCube, there's one for PC, one for Nintendo Advance.
One for 64.
Yeah. Oh god, because for me, I think the first game that I 100%ed, it was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire on the Nintendo, not Game Boy. Yeah, it was on the Game Boy. Because originally I wanted to mention something more recent, but yeah, I think I had. It was basically when I had a Switch, when I had a DS in school. I oftentimes, when I was in Poland, I went to like flea markets, and I got my hands on the Goblet of Fire for the GBA. And somehow I thought that it was the coolest game in the world. And you had some like, it was basically like beat for beat movie with collectibles. And I think I got every single one of them. I got like all the chocolate cards and all the Portuguese.
Looking back on that game now, would you say that it was a good game?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It's a solid game. It I think I think it being on the GBA, I'm just way too used to the comforts of like of the Switch and having like, I'm about to say the modern graphics, but then I think of Sword and Shield. But yeah, I don't know. I think I just got too pampered by modern video games with its nice textures and models.
Okay, let's see. The worst game that you spent more than 4 hours on. And why I wrote 4 hours was that there's a lot of games that I have gotten for like birthdays and things like that you maybe tried once and you realize that this is not really that good.
I had a video game. Oh god, what was it called? Let me think. What would you say is the worst game that you spent more than 4 hours on?
Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Understandable. Okay, but I mean,
like 4 hours is still kind of a good amount of time, so
Yeah, like it's still 4 hours of your day that you're investing into a video game. Like at that point, you should either be hooked or not.
Mm. So it's kind of a lot of other shits that you played have gotten eliminated.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I can come up with a game that I spent more than 4 hours on, but I'm sure there is.
If I just put the question, the worst game you played, do you know that?
The worst game I've played.
Hmm.
I am searching the my I'm going into my mind palace. Imagine like everything disappearing around me. There's a white space and there's like shells materializing a la Sherlock style. And
Well, I guess we can continue with another question.
the shelves are empty. I don't remember anything.
Like I said, you don't need to answer every question.
The most satisfying unlockable moment.
Yeah, kind of an unlockable, like maybe a power up or maybe a character, maybe yeah, something that might have been memorable, or just help the game with the game a lot.
Oh god, okay.
Do you have something in mind?
I might have, yes. What's Bulletstorm? So that game is like it's like an arcade shooter. You are a like a space marine crash landing onto like a space planet, like a space casino planet, and the point is to go from point A to B, killing everything in sight. And you can like kick enemies into cacti, you can decapitate them. It's like very violent. And I think one of the most satisfying moments I ever had in a video game was unlocking the bola weapon. So basically, you shoot like a weapon that like spins around, and it also like cuts people in half,
Mm.
and it's just so satisfying to use. Or unlocking the oh god, what's the name of the weapon in Destiny 2? Pam 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 something lion. Google help me.
Well, at the time, I guess the thing that I at least thought about was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for me. Just the fact that you start with 8 characters and then you just see these whole characters grow to almost like 85 or 80 like playable characters. Just the progression felt kind of fun just to see.
Yeah, I think it's actually like it's super cool because a lot of the games nowadays they pack a lot of the characters in DLC.
Mm.
So it's quite unusual in that sense.
Like I don't feel that unlockable characters in sports game or party games anymore is even kind of a thing. I almost feel like you get all the characters kind of quickly. Like like I remember sometimes in older games, like sometimes it could be quite an hassle to get one character.
Yep. I found the name for the weapon I was looking for.
Yeah, well, what?
It's the Fighting Lion in Destiny 2.
Oh, what does the lion do?
It's basically a grenade launcher, but it when you shoot it, it like arcs. So you kind of have like to mentally visualize, remember like the range of the gun. I don't know. I just thought it was the dopest gun in the whole game.
Did you get a lot of kills with it?
Yes, it. I think it was my besides like a shotgun I got from Gambit. I think that's the one I used the most. I just like never switched off from it.
Okay, let's see. What do we have? The most fun you had on a game?
Oh, that's a very broad term. Fun.
Yeah.
Do you have fun with video games, Frederick?
Well, sometimes they can be a little bit frustrating, and sometimes they can be to make the game longer. They might make a mission that is just there to build up the playing time.
Yeah.
But a game that I can remember, when I played the Spider-Man game for PS4 like 2018, I didn't really go into that game with a lot of expectation. I wasn't even sure how much I would play of it, because I usually don't play that long on those games back then. But I 100%ed that game, and I had such an amount of fun the whole time. I enjoyed the kind of what they felt at the time like an evolution of the Spider-Man story. The gameplay was fun. The battling system. I just had a fun time the whole time when I played that game.
I mean, it just speaks to like how good of a game the Spider-Man games are, really.
I really enjoyed it.
For me, I think I have two. I can give you two things. One is personal and one is current. So the most current one, as I think I mentioned, I'm playing Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy. Um, I'm turning into a Final Fantasy fanboy. But that game is just so fun. It's a Souls-like. I think it reminds me mostly of Bloodborne, actually. And I think you would really like it if you liked Lies of P.
Okay.
But they remixed, instead of like having like different weapons, you have different classes, and with this being, you can customize your moveset like to a T, since you have classes that give you abilities for weapons, but then those classes evolve into different classes, but you keep the abilities and they give you new abilities, and so on and so on. And you can mix and match your attacks to give them like elemental edge or like longer reach. You have also buffs, you have like Lightbringer, you have poise which can break, and the story is interesting since the main character doesn't care about the story. So you are trying to think like, but why doesn't he care? Like why doesn't he try to like find his lost memories? Why is he just saying, "Oh, memories get in the way"? What's up with that?
Hey, what's up with that?
Um, so yeah, give Stranger of Paradise a try. It's a really cool game.
Wasn't it that game? Doesn't that game have this weird reputation of being both good and bad with different people?
I think it might be. I frankly I've only heard about it from the memes.
Like I feel like that game is a game that a lot of people say, yeah, that's a bad game, and then there's this other crowd that is like, it maybe is, but man, it's fun.
I think I'm counted into the second group, because it's like I kind of wish the character like that Jack would care more about the story at least, but I think it just like, but it's so honest, you know, like it doesn't give you like the main characters is like, ha ha ha, look how weird it is where we are, oh that just happened. No, everything is serious. It's just camp. um, the other fun I had most with the game is, I think, Crash Team Racing, uh, because I recently 100%ed the game with my niece and my brother.
Oh,
Yeah, she really got into the game. She liked like at the beginning she didn't know how to drive the cart, but then she's beginning to win. Like she won easy races. Now she's winning medium races. But yeah, it's really cool just unlocking every character with my niece.
yeah. Well, that's good.
Okay. What else have you prepped for us?
A praise game that you don't understand the hype for. So a game that I guess gets really praised by the public. You tried it and you did not understand so many people found it.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I know. I know. I actually even found the another game. The question to the game I quipped in 4 hours. But I actually want to hear your opinion first.
well, I guess one thing that I could start by saying is the Call of Duty series, but uh, I haven't played that much of that, so I'm going to give another game, which this one might be a little bit weird because the game that I started to think about is not a bad game. Actually, it's quite a good game, but if I'm just seeing this question, a praise game that you didn't understand the hype for, then I would say Super Mario Odyssey.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I played that game. I beat it twice, and I didn't. And I feel like people praised that game so much, and I just didn't see it. I felt like the people talked about there were really many moons. Yeah, sure, but there were so many moons that I never really felt that unaccomplished in getting one moon. Like getting a moon was really easy. Sometimes they were even just standing in one level without you even having to do anything.
Oh, okay, I get it. So, because I know that Nintendo they made this decision intentionally. Because if you want to, you can go for harder moons, but you don't really have to. But since it's not required for you to like struggle, you didn't really feel that the moons were worth it.
Mm. And then there's like I don't know, there's like 8 levels to this game. There's like some that are really smaller than the others, which has less moons in it, and then there's some that are a bit bigger. But I never really felt like there was that much platforming to do in the CD, and I know that there are some small parts in the game where it brings a bit of platforming in, but I didn't really feel like those were that difficult either.
Because I know that people praised this game because it was like the next evolution of the Mario series. This was the main, like this was the 3D game for the console.
Yeah, the thing that I will say is that it's not a bad game. I just don't understand the high amounts of praise it gets.
Yeah, I can totally see why. I get your I get what you're saying. For me, uh, well, I kind of get the hype, but I also kind of like this game also falls in the category of the game I dropped in 4 hours, and this doesn't really usually happen. No, so the game that I'm don't get is Monster Hunter. Um,
Oh,
so
okay.
so I have Worlds. I've bought Monster Hunter World to play with my other friend. Uh, uh,
Is he into Monster Hunter?
like he finished the game and he finished the DLC as well.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say friend C.
Hmm.
So friend C, he got me to play the game and I kind of liked it, but I think I was missing the high the high action that came like with games like Stranger of Paradise or Bloodborne or even like uh, oh god, what's the other game? Code Vein. I like fast games, all right? And for me, Monster Hunter is it's clunky. And I know that's the point because this game, it's like there's this grit to it. Like you have to watch out for your attacks, you have to remember that takes time for everything. And you can't just go wailing on the monsters like they were just HP sponges.
Hmm.
But when I tried playing alone, I just got my ass handed to me time and time and time again. And I don't think I went past. I don't think I finished the main campaign. I think afterwards, like it was literally 4 hours and I dropped the game. And yeah, it's, like I get the monsters designs wonderful, the armor designs cool, the world is vibrant, but it's just the gameplay, man. Not for
Yeah,
me.
I can understand that. Sometimes you just kind of feel like, well, this is taking a bit too long.
That is the feeling I had throughout the entire Monster Hunter game that I played.
So, I guess that was the 10 questions I had with, yeah, some talking points for us.
It felt very, like Game Informer interview. Kind
Maybe.
of type of deal. But I had fun. It was fun to think about maybe the games like that I didn't really enjoy, and to talk about them. Because honestly, when I don't like a game, I drop it. As I said, my memory palace, there's like empty shelves of the games that I don't like.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing, I guess, with bad games, is that if you don't really like it the first game you played, or the first time you play, there's a big chance you won't return to.
Yeah, it's a shame, really, because like yeah, Monster Hunter or Mario Odyssey. I mean, although you played the entirety of Mario Odyssey, so you can't really say that.
Yeah, as I said, I beat it twice.
Just to make sure that your opinion was the right one.
Yeah, that's actually the main reason of why I played it a second time, is that I got this feeling, and I kind of wondered, well, if I played it one more time, and I realized that when I was done with it the second time, I was like, well, I have the same feelings.
You know what? You put more effort than some games journalists out there, and I applaud you for that.
Well, Mario is kind of an easy game to at least, yeah, to beat.
I don't know. The 3D games stump me, man. And I finished Knack.
Well, then you really know.
I am a veteran platform action enjoyer.
He just played Knack.
I played Knack on hard.
Can you two put that on your Twitter, Carol?
Yes, no.
I'm a certified gamer. I played Knack on hard.
I'll put it on our Twitter description for until like when this episode comes out. That gives you that gives you a reason, listener, to check us out on X. But I think we're coming to the end of the episode. So again, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Media Bubble Podcast. Hit that subscribe button with passion, and thanks to Jahazar for intro and outro comedy. See you again in the next episode, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.